What's up, guys? This is Stewart here, and you're in the Kukulooks. Um, I've been using Davinci Resolve for a while now. I'm just trying to make a reason to switch over to it. I usually use Sony Vegas, and I'm cool with it. I love Sony Vegas. It's been my daily driver, as you could say, for years now. Years, more than 5 years. I've been using Sony Vegas. So I wanted to jump on the bandwagon and grab a little bit of DaVinci Resolve. And for some reason, I just wasn't having it. And I made a couple of videos with DaVinci Resolve on my gaming channel, which is Battlefield HQ. And if you want to check it out, you can check out the videos there. It's my recent videos. So if you're watching this video in maybe a couple of days after its release, most likely you would see the videos that I uploaded it with after editing. So the first reason why I won't be switching to DaVinci Resolve 16 or whatever number it is right now from Sony Vegas Pro is because it hogs a lot of memory. I went in my process bar after seeing my computer running a little tiny bit harder. It was taking a little while to open all the stuff with DaVinci Resolve, which you technically shouldn't do, but I usually do that with all these types of programs. And I realized that DaVinci Resolve is hogging a lot of memory. It was hogging over 8 gigs of memory actually, and that is not that good because most people computers have less than 8 megabytes, and they want to do the video editing. Although the standard is 8 gigs, sorry, I said 8 megabytes, 8 gigs. Although the standard is 8 gigs, but usually people have a little bit lower, and because of Windows using a certain bit of your memory, you don't really have 8 gigs. You have 7.6 or something like that. But the program was using more than 8 gigs of my memory. I have 16 gigs of memory, so that's not a big deal. But it uses 8 gigs, which is quite a lot. So I was gonna do 10 reasons why I won't be switching, and these are the 10 reasons. And here's my second: you need a lot of CPU power to run it. So I was running it, and I usually make 5 minute long videos. I splice up a couple of clips and I stick them together. Equals to about five minutes. Less usually it's less than 10 minutes, and I realized that my CPU was always almost at the 100% load. Not just that, it was running pretty much hard. The program was causing my PC to run hard, and the fans was speeding up like, well, an airplane. Now this means that the DaVinci Resolve has it's running hard, and it's taking a lot of your power, and it means that if you are using DaVinci Resolve as your daily driver, as people say, it means that your CPU has a lot of work to do, a lot of work to do, and most likely the life of your CPU will be lower. And I'm always scared when I hear my CPU running so hard like that and making those kind of noises. So I don't tend to stick with programs that do that or games that do that. The next thing is that the interface is kind of hard to understand if you were a new a new person that just got DaVinci. It's similar to um, Adobe Premiere, but Adobe Premiere, in my opinion, is a lot harder than Sony Vegas, and I'm not too sure if you guys would agree with that. If you haven't tried Sony Vegas, trust me. When I was probably about 12 years, I'm now 28. I used to use little programs, and they were annoying. And then a couple years later, Sony Vegas came out, And as soon as I jumped on it, I didn't need any tutorial, and I just got it. I just understood it. It just made sense the way everything was working. It just made sense. Next thing is that when you drag clips over others, sometimes they disappear. I'm not too sure if that is a bug or whatever it may be, but for some reason, after I drag clips over each other, they just disappear. Sometimes I drag a clip too much over the like to the beginning of the video or the starting of the timeline, and the clip below it suddenly disappears. I'm not too sure why that is happening. That doesn't really seem user friendly for me. But next thing is dragging clips over like the edge of another clip. Like if you want to you expect a transition, so you drag it just a little bit over the end of the last clip, and you expect it to make a transition. Now in Sony Vegas, it automatically creates a fade. So in Davinci Resolve, it doesn't, and that is really annoying for me. That is one of the the dong votes for me. Um, it doesn't automatically transition. For some reason, it's just annoying the way you have to do things in it. But my next reason, my fifth reason, there is no way to disable resampling. If you know what is resampling in your videos, there is a kind of ghostly or pixelated type of effect that happens when you stick clips together. Like if you do what I do, where I do something like a montage of getting kills of particular guns and whatever, there is something that happens in the videos that makes it look pixelated. And to remove that, usually I would just disable resampling, because that is what um, happens. Because the resampling doesn't really work as intended, I would say, because it basically adds a ghostly effect to your video. The next thing is that the timeline starts at 1 hour. Now, if you're me who has OCD like features, well, every time I see that, it's annoying me. It's very annoying to see your videos starting at 1 hour. Um, I'm not too sure why they made that a norm in the software, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense. The next thing is that shortcuts are harder. You can't split a track by just clicking a button. You have to click a button, like let's say you press B, which is for the blade, and then you have to click where you want to split, which is very annoying for me. On Sony Vegas Pro, you all you have to do is just click S wherever your the marker is. When you click the video, you just press S and it splits. It splits everywhere you want to just press S, shortcut, and it splits automatically. You don't have to wait for a blade icon to pop up, then split it by pressing again. It's just kind of annoying for me. So there was same what I wanted to tell that as my if reason is that the same settings bring different results when it comes to file size. So I use the same settings that I use on Sony Vegas, but for some reason the file size was like 13 gigs. So just imagine uploading 13 gigs. That's just too much to upload on YouTube. That's a little bit too much. The snapping mechanic seems to be a bit too aggressive. That's my ninth point. Snapping aggressive. It's very aggressive. It makes it hard for me to drag videos in order where I want it to fit it directly. It keeps on moving a little bit more, a little bit less. Even though I zoom in right inside, um, very zoomed in, it still doesn't work. It seems to be moving every time a little bit further or more back than I want it to. The next one is that there is no positive change that is so good that you have to switch to DaVinci Resolve. It's just color grading. It has the best color grading software inside of it, but there is just no reason. There is no reason to switch. So I can't really tell you to switch. Sony Vegas is pretty much user friendly, and you don't need to switch.